Hi, this is DarkFox127 and welcome to the first official new stream of mine for Twitch. That's the new intro roll just there, and hopefully the outro will go just as smoothly later on. I'm basically going to sit here and mod Caranthir Tower and see what we can get done and what people can learn, what input people can put in. The Twitch chat at the moment has to stay on the same sort of screen because I haven't set up a secondary monitor yet that actually wants to work, so we'll have to deal with what we've got. Okay, last time I did do a stream the other day. It was sort of a little bit of a test just to see what works. The audio should be a lot better now, so if people want to shout out, let me know if the audio's okay. That'd be great. And since the last stream I've managed to sort of go over the library. I'm just going to move this mic a bit. Go over the library. I've sort of finished the bookshelves off. I put some backplate things on, and also I have scripted some displays from Insanity so that you can put the dragon claws in there and take them out whenever you want. Hopefully that works. I haven't actually tested that yet, but it should be a clean enough script. People want to have a little gander at it. Pretty simple, but even the simplest scripts can sort of screw up and go wrong. And I've decided to turn off the Steam chat for this, because otherwise I'm just going to get a load of messages. There are a couple of people on my friends list that have that sort of tendency to want to get on the stream and just be annoying for the fun of it. But let us begin. So the idea is not to have every one of these bookshelves covered in just books. I want to reserve a few shelves for sort of unique items and stuff, so I'm going to put the masks on here now, I think, which is cool. Just got to decide the way to do it. I can either do it with busts and have a similar shelf to this, or I can just sort of stick them to the wall, which I think I'm probably going to do for now. And I'll probably actually use exactly the same script for that, because it's going to work roughly the same way, I think. Or should it? Probably not, actually. That needs to work off a sort of a trigger box. Now, of course, what will actually happen is there's a container behind each of these bookshelves, and it will take whatever you're putting onto the display, put it in that container, and then when you activate it again, take it out the container, give it you back. The way I used to do it is I used to actually remove the item from the inventory, but in the case of masks that might be upgraded or changed in any kind of way, that can be quite a bad thing, because it's removing the mask entirely and giving you a fresh one, which is no longer the one that you had. So the better way to do it is sort of put it into a container and give it you back afterwards, which should work. But these are working off activators, which are the jars, so these need to work off a trigger, because there is no jar or anything for masks. The first thing to do is find all of the Dragon Priest masks that I'm going to need. And use those. Okay, so I'm going to need the meshes for them. Now I should be able to just replace bronze rather than have to copy that all the while, but knowing what this creation kit's like, some of them are probably going to be wrong. So let's see. CT. I'm going to make static versions of them, basically. Static mask, which is this bronze. See how big those are dragged in. That looks way too small to me. Let's get a copy of the player and see what that looks like. Yeah, very sad way of doing it, but I want them to try and be realistically the size that they are. And I've got to take into consideration that these bookshelves are huge anyway. You know what? That's actually the right size. That's interesting. Wonder how big the busts for these are then. Yeah, I made that intro just to answer the question in the chat. I've got some new software. I have finally, after 3 years, abandoned Camtasia. And my mouse has disappeared. There we go. Right. Bust. Let's have a look if they even exist. What the hell? Okay, that's just the activators. There must be an actual stand, which is that. There we go. And then you change the mask on and off. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it my own sort of way, because these tend not to work, so I just want the mesh for that, the model even. There we go. Now it's put a mask on there by default, so I need that not to be there. That's it. Now I might overlay the texture on that in a minute. Mask bust. There we go. Yeah, leave that for now. Put that in there. Yeah, that's probably about the right height that is for one of these shelves, so I'm going to put one of those in, I think. Just a little trick to turn it quickly. Rather than trying to figure out the axes. Far that out, that goes. Push that in a bit. And it's about that height. That's interesting. I changed that, haven't I? Yes, delete that, that's white. And put it about there. Should be roughly the same. And try that. Now, how many masks are there? I always forget. So, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Technically 10. It's going to be the same as the claws then. Now, I'm not going to include the DLC masks here. I think I'm going to put them on similar stands over here. Well, not these ones actually, something entirely different. That's retextured. That'll look a lot better. Something similar to what I did in Mershkum Estate. Spin them around. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to just clip in. It might do still though. Close enough. Right. Put that about there. And then I can use that as a template. Shift them along. Should get 5 in a row. Try that, see how that looks. Like I said, I can always change that, the texture on them. I think that looks okay. I might nudge some over though afterwards. Oh, what has it done to screw that up? It might be the flooring of them. There we go. I like it. A tutorial on how to do the tutorial intro. Yeah, that'd be good. Yes, that looks okay now. Just have to swap all those out for the actual masks now. So oh, this is going to get tedious. Sorry, I'm just going to do it this way. Probably going to be easier, less confusing. I can just double click. There we go. Mask bust. Whoops. Selected the damn bust now, haven't I? Should. Oh. Oh, I selected the wrong thing. Want that. Bronze. That's what we want to change. Change the name. Here we are. This is just going to be a little tedious. No, that damn bust. What was that on? Ebony. See, I had to do this for all of the claws, and that's just as annoying. So that'll be iron. Then we've got marble. Amount of times I've done this in the past, it's ridiculous. This kind of thing for different mods. I ought to just do a sort of template of this stuff, so then when I do a mod in the future I can just paste that in. Copy. Paste. Huh, greenstone they've called it on there. Oh. Dear me. Easy thing to do. Although it should be named roughly the same, should be able to nick that. Let's change that to marble. There we go. So that's it there, nearly all them done. Then we can probably get to the really fun part and script it. Ultra. Ultra's a bit of a funny shape one, I think. And we've just got wood, which sounded absolutely wrong. And there we go. Save that before I lose my mind. What have we got here now? I've gone from bottom to right, top to right. There we go. So, bronze with that one, replace that. I've just got to go along now. So I think I mentioned it. Oh, not again. I think I mentioned it in the test stream that I am planning, and have already started to plan on a number of new tutorials and redoing old ones, and that's now coming along quite nice. I already did 2 today, and then I thought, sod it, I'll do a live stream, watch a bit of the snooker. If anybody's interested in the snooker. It's amazing you start getting emails when you've started a live stream or turned the damn computer off. Yet all the time you're on the computer, nobody wants to message you. All these I've noticed are just out of alignment. I'll tweak all them later on. I think they'll need to nudge left or right a little bit. Haha. Right, there we go. Where the fudge were we? We got to greenstone, didn't we? And then we've got this to replace. Iron. Then we've got marble. Moonstone. And I think I'll probably put ultra in the middle because it's special. And then we'll put steel. And if I'm not mistaken, one of these tends to be wonderfully off slightly. And there it is. Okay, that needs to just... Oh, what a mess. Okay. That's pretty damn annoying. And as you can see, it's obviously off slightly, which is a bit annoying, but I think I've done that alright now. Still, for some reasons, completely off the usual grid to all the other ones. Oh, wood's the same. Hopefully that's exactly the same as this one then. Looks like it. Just pull that back up. Change the x-axis. Oh, of course, that was dumb. Let's just throw that back over here and hope for the best. This is just irritating, this kind of thing. I would happen to pick the one shelf that's totally off grid, wouldn't I? That'll have to do for now. Right, save that. Now each one of these needs to be initially disabled as well. Otherwise, the player's not going to have to go ahead and find them. Use the batch menu for this. Initially disabled, and I usually go ahead and give them all a reference as well, so I'm going to try and follow the same sort of thing, whoops, as I've got there. Just check the chat. How many have we got following? 3. Oh well. Hopefully it's not too boring. It'll perk up a little soon, because I'm going to do, like I said, I shall do some scripting. So CT ref static and do mask, and then just replace the name. In this case, it's marble. Moonstone. Ultra. This just makes it so much easier when you're checking references. Steel. Wood. Gotta be careful not to move these as well. Bronze. That's going to put core because I can't be bothered to even attempt to spell that. Ebony. Greenstone. And iron. There we go. Save that, all initially enabled, got their own references, got their own container. Now they're just going to need a script. So I will need a trigger for this. New trigger. Hopefully this damn cable's not making a route. It's in my way slightly. Masks. Or mask display. So the player will activate this trigger and it will actually essentially it'll activate that container at the back. And then that container will have a script on it. So this is mask display. Activate, probably say access. Could always put some glass on there actually, and maybe the other, well no, not the other one actually. And this needs to have a activate link ref, default activate link ref I think, or is it dummy container? Activate linked chest dummy script, that's the one we want. Shouldn't be any properties to it. Basically when this is activated it will check whatever the link reference for the activator is and it will open it if it's a chest and let you access it. So I'm going to put that about there. Double click on it. One thing, if you're not aware, if all of these happen to be 0 or close to it, sort of exactly at an angle like 90 degrees or something, sometimes it tends to make the trigger just not work at all, so you won't be able to activate it. There'll be no prompt to it. So what you have to do is you just usually have to offset at least one of these by 1 and it works. It's amazing, but yeah, that works. It's a weird glitch. You need to have player activatable as well. Okay, and in the trigger, for people that don't know, basically by default it will say activate whatever's there, and I've changed it to access for the word that comes up. Save that, and it's going to need the link reference as the container at the back. Now my window's disappeared behind there, so if I just hit save it pulls it to the front because it won't save with it open. Select link reference, the chest, okay. And because I'm going to end up activating this chest, I'm going to want it to say exactly the same as the trigger, which is mask display. So it's all sort of consistent. And that should do quite nice. So be able to walk up to that, activate it, put the stuff in. However, at the minute, it's not showing any of the masks. And I cannot remember the script off the top of my head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blatantly steal it off Mershgoon 1.3. Let's have a look. So we want to go to the container, edit it, add script. Need new script. In fact, what's the existing one called? CT script claw display. Okay. Mask display. Oh, it's in the search, isn't it? New script. That's it. this script. There we go. Not sure. I'm not going to be able to like answer loads of questions in the stream, or it's just going to completely throw me off what I'm doing. But I'm sure the people might be able to help on the forums or in the Twitch chat. I'll try and cover different things. If you mean sort of activating the cart and things appearing and disappearing, then you could do that. Now what I need to do here is, like I say, steal a script. So I need to remember what it is and hope the source is in here. I'm going to have to hunt it down. It would be uniques or something. Oh, would you believe it? Okay then. Looks like we're going to have to hunt this down. Whoops. 1.2 is no good. It's a different script. 1.3 loose. No, not meshes, you nit. Scripts. Source. Staves unique. Relying upon Windows search. Yep, knew that wouldn't work. Right, let's see. Where is it? More S uniques. Just open that with Notepad. Nope, not that one. I could be here all day. Masks. Mask stand? Nope. Let me think. It's going to have to work off something very similar to the claws. I'm not sure I did one for the masks, so what I shall do instead is see if there is one. I thought it was that one, but it ain't. Oh, a stave unique? Nope. Oh, how frustrating. It's been a very long time, so I forget what it is. I'm just going to have to go through these one by one. I'll notice it. That one? I'm telling you, these are very old. These are old scripts, I'm sure of it. These are the wrong ones. This is the old way of doing it. I've got a sort of new way of doing things, so I don't know if I've messed up and copied the wrong script across or just left the old scripts in, and I'm pretty sure I've used a standard script. One script for all of them. Items are now children. Aha! That confused me with like the children and stuff, because they have to be checked on their own. Okay, hold on. On item added, on item removed, and then if children blah blah blah. Basically I need to just chuck the children bits out of here and steal the rest. So I can just throw those bits out, those bits out. Form enable? I've got to actually remember how this works now. Yes, I think I do. Message, error message, blah 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 blah. Then we just have to delete that. There we go. So yeah, I'm not even going to begin to try and explain that. I'm sort of getting a bit of a headache as it is. So we're just going to copy that. actually, we'll copy from up there. Just have that bit, copy, close, and we're going to snag that for our own script and delete that bit. Now, because this is probably going to become useful with other things, I'm probably going to want to keep this named as such. So actually I'm going to discard that. I'm going to remove that script, and I'm just going to make sure that I delete that, so it's not a useless script later on that I end up not needing. And we're going to try this again. So CT, I can't even type now. CT script unique display. Then I'll do a documentation string when I care, or I might actually have that copied now, mightn't I? From before, bang, there we go. This is the new 1.3 script for handling unique items. This is the script for handling unique items. That's better. And that'll probably not compile now. Oh no, compiled. Yep, that's nice. Autofill, shouldn't be anything autofilled. Let's see if I can just quickly explain this. Basically, we'll have two form lists, an enable list and an item list. The item list is obviously going to be the list of items that are placed in the container that it recognizes, and the enable lists are the matching items which will be enabled along with it. So the way a form list works is, well, I might as well just open a random one. The way oh great, that helps. No, there we go. I'll open an existing. Way a form list works is you have different things in here, and they're numbered 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and continue onwards. And I'll have two of these lists next to each other. In fact, I think I've just seen the perfect example. Atronach Forge is the way that this works. There is a recipe list and result list, and as you see, they match up to one another. So the recipe with what's created from the recipe, and that's basically what we're doing with the unique displays, is it's going to say, like, if this is a certain mask, then this is the mask static version that's enabled, and that's what that script's doing. It's going get whatever the number thing is of the thing that's placed in and enable the correct thing that's adjacent to it, the thing that matches up with it. So it's actually quite cool. It's a lot easier than the way I used to do it. I got some help from a friend on that. Although I figured that out about 2 years ago, messing with the Atronach Forge to do my own forge, but I didn't know scripting fully then, and I didn't really know what the hell I was doing, and I totally forgot about it. And it was sort of a bit of a brainstorm. I was like, I understand the way that works now. Before I just knew how to twist the script to work for my things, now I know how the script actually works. So I've been able to make a few adjustments as well. And after that confusing ramble, the error message is obviously you've got the wrong item or something. The integer restrict. Ah, yes, that's it. These are the bits that I've added. This is what I sound like when I get excited. This is the bits that I have added. Basically, it will go, if you change the integer property to 1 instead of the default 0, it's basically saying 1 is a tick box to say yes, restrict. So restrict means you can only place masks in this container, otherwise you could store a load of crap in there, which I don't want. Or if you don't mind having a container that you can store a load of stuff in, but if certain items, these items you're adding in, if those get added in, they do the enabling, but you can also add other items in. So if you want the ability to chuck a load of stuff in there and only certain items enable things, it's 0. If you want it restricted to masks only, it's 1, and that will bring up the error message if you're trying to dump in, say, an axe instead of a mask. So that's the way that works. Okay. If you didn't think I was insane, you do now. Let's go okay with that just for a minute, so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Just hit save. So it's a good job that I've given these references, because then I can drag and drop them from this window into the form list. So what I'm going to need now is 2 form lists. So CT form list, masks, items, and 1 for statics. I can't even see if I type that right. Statics. There we go. And then I'm going to want to line those up together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and drag all of the items which are going to be recognized as the masks. So I'm going to type in mask. I'm going to select all of these Dragon Priest masks that we're going to have on the display, and I've put them in the wrong friggin' one. Never mind, there we go. And as you see, they're all numbered up, so now I'm going to have to sort of, I'll reorder these as well, but I'm going to have to match these up, and just by chance, or by alphabetical order, which is roughly what I've put them in, they're actually in the right order. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select each of these, and then I'm going to check the order after I've dragged and dropped them in. Now for some reason I am actually missing one, and I'll figure out which one that is in a moment. I've probably messed up the name accidentally. Number 1 needs to be bronze, and it looks like bronze is the one I'm missing, so bronze should be here. Static mask. Now why doesn't that show up as static mask bronze? It's CT ref. So that's CT ref as well. Oh, that's just, yeah, that's why. The busts in alphabetical order also work with it. Okay then, so that can just get dragged and dropped in. Hit save to force them at the front. Put that in. Move that up, and they should be in order. Which they're not, because of the names. Green is orc, I do believe. So marble, moonstone, steel, ultra wood. There we go, they should match up, and it is really that easy. Now all I have to do is fill in the properties, which is nice and simple now. That makes things so much quicker than checking each individual one in the script. So form enable are going to be the statics, and form items, the items. Restrict, yes, I want this as masks only, and now I'm going to have to create my own message, which is going to be CT message, and I'll probably list this as an error. Masks. Dragon Priest masks only. And I like to put my own confirmation message as understood. Just confirm that and reopen it, otherwise it might not show. There we go, CT error masks, okay, save. And that should be it. That should be as simple as that. That should be set up now. Each of those masks should be enabled or disabled depending on whether it's there or not. The masks will be stored in there, and you'll just access that container straight off the trigger. Nice and easy, and I will do an up-to-date tutorial on that eventually, because that can be quite confusing. But it's very cool, and I will plan on releasing a lot of sort of template scripts like this, like the one that you've just seen, on my website eventually as well. It's just getting around to it all. Okay. I do that a lot. I open a window, don't actually look at what I needed to, and then reopen it. Anyway. Right. What have we got left to do? Oh, everything. Right. We shall look at doing the other busts now, and I might have to do these similar to the claws. In fact, I'll probably just use the same script. So I'm I'm trying to just hide that light so I can work with it. And I'm going to need something I always forget the name of in the creation kit, and that is, it should be a sort of a bust in itself. It is the stand that is used for that special crown from the Thieves Guild. What's it called? Damn you. Probably under TG actually. TG. I always forget it. There it is, crown stand. Now as you can see, that's a complete terrible texture really. See, if I was really good at Nifscope, what I would be doing is I would be taking that mesh, and rather than this being all one sort of texture used for this, I would split it into two, and where you've got these details here, I would put the sort of Dwemer detail on the wall here. I'll put that there, and the rest of it be Dwemer stone. But as it is, I can't do that. I haven't got the skills. So I'm just going to use this for now and probably mess with it later, or just put a Dwemer stone over the top. CT static bust for what is it? Dawn Guard masks? Dragon Ball masks, that's right. Masks, Dragonborn. There we go. Create new form. And that one there. There you go. So I'm going to edit that, and I'm just going to see what this is looking like. Mess that up. Try that again. Now I've already made texture sets. If you're not aware of what those are, it's just basically pointing at textures in the game resources and being able to overlay them onto meshes. So that looks absolutely dreadful. Let's see what design looks like. He's probably going to look 10 times worse. Yeah, that's awful. I'll probably just stick with the standard one for the time being, and I can probably go ahead and change it after, although that's not too bad. Okay, there we go. And again, I want these lined up on everything nice and level if I can help it. And in fact, I've kind of made a mess of that. That doesn't want to be a static item. This needs to be an activator. Although the experience last time was that that didn't work for some reason. So these might need to stay as static. For some reason I made them an activator and I couldn't actually activate them. And I don't know why that was. It might be because these don't have collision. Clutter, Quest, Benezia. Let's just check that over. Should be here somewhere. Basically, if an item you're trying to use as an activator does not have collision, it's probably not going to work. Benezia crown stand thingy-majig. There we go. It does have collision. For some reason it just wasn't working. Okay, never mind. I am probably just going to play this safe anyway, and I'm going to leave them as static, and then I'm going to make them, I'm going to put triggers over them afterwards. Best way to do it, rather than doing things twice over. These windows I'm not sure if I'm keeping, but they're the best ones that I can get right now. I basically ripped them off of the Windhelm windows, the Windhelm architecture, and then put the Dwemer design on the edges and stripped away all the junk. In fact, if you take a look, you'll see what the part actually is. Just null textured everything. That's what it actually is. Quite cool, really. And what I do with these is I will put the DLC masks on here. Fire, Frost, Shock and Mirror Arc. So I'm going to want these again now. CT Static Mask, Dragonborn. I think it was fire that I selected just. Was it not? Take that as a no. Let's go back and select fire. Let's make sure. Maybe it was then. Click OK on that. DB fire. That one will be frost. And then we should have shock. Dubiously, they all look the damn same. They might have texture sets. And I've just messed that up again, haven't I? I'll have to check that over in a moment. Yeah. They're all the same thing. Variant 3 for frost. Three for frost, 2 for fire. Clever. Right. That was 3 for frost, 2 for fire. There it is. And it should be 1 for shock. Oh dear me. I'll keep doing that. Keep going that extra step. Let's just search DLC. I'd like it to be obvious, but I think because that might just be what it is anyway. So just check that. Yeah, that's what it is anyway. Okay, that's fine. Hit save. And the only one we've got now is Mirarc's mask, which is unique in itself. Create new, then go back in and change the model. Nice. Drag and drop that in, and then I can just place it on one of these. Again, what I basically did in Mershgum Estate. Now these heads are a bit too big. .8 maybe. Say that's about right. Looks it. An idea of how tall the player is going to be. So I'll put all them at 0.8 and put them at the same height. There we go. And then drag this on. Seems to be near enough it. That should do it. And now I just need to put all the other ones on. So I'm just going to refresh that, make sure that this is still live while I'm talking to myself, although I technically am anyway. And that's interesting because that's completely wrong actually. Just change that. There we go. Okay. Phone just went off, made me jump a mile. Oh dear. Right, spin that round. Once we get one of these in place, we're pretty much good to go for the others. There we are. Now these should be relatively straight, so it should just be a matter of moving it on the x-axis. And replacing it with the correct mask. Let's just check that one's okay there. That looks a bit off then. So we got fire, frost, shock, so if this is fire that needs to be frost. That one actually needs to be shock if I'm going to go in any kind of order. And then each one of them is going to need a trigger. There we have it. Just have a sip of my drink. Get in there slowly. Click on that one. Let's get ourselves a trigger. Masks DB. Let's see, and I have that say bust. I suppose mask bust. And I don't mind that saying activate, or I'll probably put use. Actually, I think I put use on the other ones, so again keep things consistent. Click OK on that and then just move that. And like I said, I'm going to use the same script as I used before for my other ones, the claws. If I double click on there, basically this has got the same similar setup going for it. You'll select the static and the MISC, but it's placing this directly to a container off the script. That container will need to be changed. for each of these. Wait a minute, forgotten something there. Might as well set it all up on the one. As you can see, perfect example of that glitch I was on about. No. If I wouldn't activated that now, chances are it wouldn't work. So I have to just offset one of these, one or two of them. That'll force it to work. Player activatable. There we go. So I'm going to duplicate that and I'm going to drag that along. We're going to have one for each of them. And I do need to find out if when you pick up Mirac's mask, if there are multiple ones that you can pick up. If so, it's going to have to work a little differently. Probably going to have its own script. And if it is a single mask, it's always the same exact ID mask, I'll be okay. It can work this way because these masks are just what they are. Whereas Mirac, I think he has a leveled system for the mask that he ends up dropping, I suppose, when he's killed. So it changes each time. And that causes trouble for this because this needs to state only one ID. So I'm just going to do it for these three and I'll have to sort that another time, I suppose. But each of these can work. This is going to need a container similar to the one that I've got behind here. So I'm just going to copy that one. In fact, I'm best off copying the other mask one, aren't I? Over here. Drag that up there. Yeah, I'm very precise. It's kind of sad, but it's nice to have everything organised and put in the right places. So I'm not looking for the container somewhere shoved miles away in the void. I know that it's going to be directly behind the thing that it's linked to. I'm also going to hide that so I don't make any silly errors. I'm going to double click this, masks _ DB. That's going to make it so much easier. Edit the container itself. Mask origin DB, mask bust. Masks DB. This one won't be accessed via the container. The container is just where they're going to be sent. So it doesn't really matter what that's called. But it'll help for me, and that needs to go off it as well. Make a new version, confirm it, go back in. Sometimes when you make a change to the script and you haven't confirmed the new ID, the script remains. Nice little tip there for you. Rather annoying. I'm just going to double check that that one's still okay. I haven't made any unnecessary changes to it. Yep, that should be fine. And then I'm going to make each of these their own thing. So I'm going to autofill that and then just go down one. DB. Okay. So the base of the script will have two filled in properties, the player reference and that container there, hopefully. And then I'll just have to click on and change each of these individual properties for each trigger. So as you can see, them two are auto-filled, or they should be. There you go, it's just being a bit slow. So the misc, I'm going to want to know what the misc item is. The static's easy enough, that's just going to be the mask behind it. And then the misc version of the mask, it's going to be whatever it is here. So in this case it's DLC2 armor. Blah blah blah. However, I think I am going to need a different script for this because I've just realised this is misc, whereas the items here are armour. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go into the base of it. I'm going to edit the script. I'm going to highlight all of that, copy it, remove it, and create a brand new one and just change a couple of things over, which is going to be CT. In fact, I always forget what these are called. So amazingly, it's going to be the script I deleted earlier. CT mass display. It's probably going to moan at me now. However, that would mean that I could just, no. I'm going to end up having to quit the kit or just call it something different. Masks, this would be for not normal masks but Dragon Ball masks, so I could probably get away with calling it that. Mask display, click OK. At the source, paste them in, removes the relevant mask from the container. There we go. And then instead of claw, mask. And this is container masks underscore db, and I just have to change that in each of these then. And instead of misclaw there, mask, and the problem was the fact that it was looking for a misc object instead of an armor. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is change the container on each of these. Anything that says claw now needs to say mask. Mask, 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 mask. Mask. This is fun. Mask, claws. That's that same container. Place that. I like to keep this interesting and set myself the challenge of, when I'm changing a script like this, see if I can do it with it compiling first time. Yes, there we go. Right, nice and easy. That'll autofill to properties, and what I can do then is just confirm and then edit them as I was planning to do originally, and put the name of the mask. So in this case it is fire. This one is going to be frost. I think I messed up a bit there. I think I'm alright then. And shock. Ta-da! There we go, that should work absolutely fine. Just going to make sure it's saved, that was a bit funky. And there we go, we've got unique displays for the claws, the masks, and the Dragon Ball masks, apart from the Miroc one, which I'll sort when I can really be bothered, because, yeah. Right. And the library's quite bigger this time, I suppose. It's got a lot more area to fill up. Plan on having all of these books here, so I think so anyway. The portal I made a little smaller, that beams down into that portal. I think I am going to keep the general layout and idea of this part here, but I'm not sure yet. And I wouldn't mind knowing how long I've actually been streaming for. I don't know if this is going to tell me. I have no idea when I started this. But yeah. Anything on the chat I didn't check? I'll make it look easy. Yeah. I suppose when you've done the same sort of script so many times over, it kind of is some of it. But I mean, when it comes to a new script, I can be sat here for a couple of hours trying to twist something to work. This ledger here, this is something I really want feedback off you guys for. I don't know if I mentioned this the last video. I probably did. I'm probably losing my marbles. But whether people would like to see staff come back again, whether you'd like this ledger to have a menu where you can hire staff, or even be able to talk to the librarian this time, if I could get that to work. Have a librarian and talk to the librarian to get new staff in, stuff like that, so make it a bit better. But whether to have staff back in the tower in terms of sort of get different mages in that have their own skills, bring in followers and things like that, or whether to try and keep it a little more private. But it's pretty big, so you're going to want people in here, I suppose. So if anyone's got any ideas along those lines, I can sort of do that. And another thing to do, I suppose, is get this portal set up, but I don't know if I'm going to do that now. These need to actually work off a menu, and I haven't worked with menus in a while, so I'm going to have to sort of refresh on that. Yes, the map. We need a use for the map. The map needs to be useful, not just decoration. I'd like to have some nice little interactions in the library rather than just storing books and unique items. I'd like it so that you can read specific books along the table here, and each one once per day you can sort of get a perk off it or learn a little more about a given skill that the book's all about. That would be really cool. So you'll actually see the player sit down, the animation play of them reading the book for a while, maybe it dulls out, and then comes back and says you have gained experience in this sort of field or something. That would be really cool. So have the library feel like you're actually coming here to learn something. You're not just reading books yourself or storing crap here. Have it so that you are actually going to be able to have a reason to keep coming back other than for storage. And I think I'll probably leave the stream there. I'm getting a bit of a headache, and I am up early in the morning. So yeah, that's it. So if anyone wants to leave feedback on things that I've mentioned, ideas that they have, that'd be great. Welcome feedback. And yeah, just when this is uploaded to YouTube, I suppose leave comments in the comment section below. Check out my anti-social websites, my main website, all the usual, and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.